Most straight men are used to taking the lead in bed. You want to switch positions? You flip her over. You want a blowjob? You find a way to nudge her into giving you one. You want a threesome? You casually drop the idea when you're tipsy, and even if she says no, at least you tried. Because that's what sex has looked like for many men. Act on your desires, express them freely, and go after what you want. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you asked her what she wants? Not what you think she wants. Not what you hope she enjoys, but what actually turns her on when no one's watching. Chances are, she's never told you. Not because she doesn't have fantasies, but because she's learned to bury them. And if you don't understand why, you might spend years in a relationship without ever really touching the part of her that craves to be seen, claimed, and understood. At the end, we discuss about bondage, anal sex, and other things that do with women on bed. Here's the truth. A lot of heterosexual sex ends up being what the man wants, not what the woman wants. Why? Because men are raised to be sexual explorers, while women are taught to be sexually silent. You hook up with multiple women, you're a stud. She does the same, she's a slut. You talk about threesomes, no big deal. She talks about fantasies, it's too much. This is what we call slut shaming. It's a double standard that still affects women deeply. So even when she trusts you, even when she loves you, she might still feel afraid to ask for what she truly desires, what she wants but won't say. Now, here's where it gets even more real. Many women have fantasies, things they watch in private, things they dream about, things that turn them on intensely, but they'll never speak of them. Why? Because they're afraid they'll be judged, afraid they'll be seen as too kinky, too dirty, or just too much. And that fear, it kills honesty, it kills curiosity, and it kills deep intimacy. So when you don't ask her what she wants, it's not that she doesn't have desires. It's that no one's ever made it safe enough for her to share them. The psychology behind her silence. Let's go deeper. As men, we're often encouraged to focus on pleasure, ours. But many women are raised to focus on making others feel good, not themselves. They're thinking, is he enjoying this? Does he think I'm sexy enough? Am I doing it right? And rarely, what do I want right now? Because from a young age, women are taught, be sexy but not too sexual. Be good in bed but don't be dirty. Be desired but never demanding. This kind of mental programming runs deep. That's why some women go years in a relationship without ever expressing what they really want in the bedroom. So what can you do? You lead, and not by pushing, but by inviting, by being so grounded in your masculinity that she feels safe to be feminine around you. Raw, honest, unfiltered. Start with 5 words. What do you really want? And don't ask her during sex. Ask her after, when you're lying in bed together. Bodies warm, walls down, no pressure. Say something like, is there anything you've fantasized about but never told me? Not as a test, not to trap her, but to understand her better. And if she hesitates, you go first. Share something you've been curious about, a fantasy, a kink, even something small like trying blindfolds or using your voice more during sex. When you go first, you give her permission to follow. Let's get one thing straight. Just because you want something in bed doesn't mean she does too. And just because she hasn't asked for it, doesn't mean she doesn't want it. In fact, many women have deep, erotic fantasies they never speak about, not because they're not confident, but because they're afraid of being judged, misunderstood, or shamed. That's why today, we're going to explore 8 kinky things that many women secretly crave in bed, even if they've never said a word about it. These aren't wild guesses. These are patterns seen by sex therapists, intimacy coaches, and real women who finally felt safe enough to share what turns them on most. So if you're ready to unlock her hidden desires and connect with her in a deeper, wilder way, let's dive in. Anal sex. Yes, really, believe it or not, many women are genuinely curious about trying anal. Now, you might assume you're the one pushing for it, but sometimes she's interested and you're the one hesitating. It's taboo. It's intense. But for some women, that's the point. It's about trust, exploration, and pushing boundaries safely. If she brings it up, don't laugh. Don't cringe. Just listen without judgment. and talk about what it would look like to make her feel comfortable and in control. Role play, whether it's the innocent schoolgirl, the dominant boss, or something wild like the OB or Gin fantasy, yes, that exists. Role play lets her explore new versions of herself safely. But here's the catch. She might be too embarrassed to bring it up. Why? Because pretending to be someone else can feel vulnerable, even silly, if the other person mocks it. If you want to explore this world with her, create a space where she knows she won't be judged. You can even start with light fantasy talk and ease into it. Domination and submission. Some women want to be completely dominated in bed. Others, they want to take full control. DS isn't about abuse, it's about power exchange. Things like asking for permission to orgasm, telling her exactly what to do, or letting her tie you up and run the show. This can be purely sexual, or even part of your relationship dynamic. The key? Mutual trust and clear consent. Bondagetting her wrists, blindfolds, ropes, restraints. Bondage has become one of the most popular kinks for a reason. The rise of 50 Shades of Grey opened the floodgates for women to explore fantasies they never voiced before. It's about surrender and the thrill of not being in control. But don't just grab a belt and go rogue. Talk to her first. Start with something simple, like silky TIs or handcuffs, and see how she reacts. Breath play, aka light choking. This one needs to be approached with extreme care, but yes, many women are turned on by the sensation of being lightly choked during sex. Why? Because it heightens arousal, intensifies orgasm, and adds a primal edge to the moment. But here's the rule. Safety first. Always. Pressure goes on the sides of the neck, not the throat. Set up a tap-out system. And if you're unsure, get educated before you try. Done wrong, it's dangerous. Done right, it's one of the most intense experiences she can have. Spanking a playful smack on the ass during sex? Turns out, a lot of women absolutely love it. Why? Because it blends pain and pleasure and stimulates a psychological trigger for dominance and submission. Some love it as part of a punishment fantasy, like the naughty schoolgirl roleplay. Others just like the physical sensation. The key is reading her reaction. If she gasps, moans, or arches into it, she's into it. If she tenses up or pulls away, dial it back. Threesomes, yes. Even women think about them. Here's the plot twist. Some women fantasize about threesomes too, even if they're scared to admit it. But this topic comes with a minefield of emotional triggers. Fear of jealousy, fear of comparison, fear of feeling not enough. So if she ever expresses curiosity, your job is simple. Make her feel emotionally secure. Tell her this is about her pleasure, not your ego. Reassure her that nothing and no one could replace her. Only then can you explore the fantasy together, without breaking the bond. Temperature play. This one's underrated but incredibly sexy. Run ice cubes along her thighs, stomach, or lips. Or drip warm wax from a body-safe massage candle onto her skin. Temperature shocks activate the nerves and take foreplay to a whole new level. It's simple, exciting, and feels amazing, especially when she doesn't know what sensation is. Coming next, just make sure whatever you use is meant for skin. No kitchen candles. No surprises there. So here's the deal. You don't get access to a woman's deepest fantasies just because you're her boyfriend. You earn it by being curious, grounded, and non-judgmental. Ask her, not in the middle of sex, not as a test, but when things are calm, intimate, and safe. Say something like, is there anything you've fantasized about but never felt comfortable telling me? Lead with your own curiosity. Maybe admit something you've been curious about. 2. When you open up first, she feels safe to follow, because the truth is, it's not just what you do in bed that matters. It's the space you create for her to be fully expressed, kinky, wild, playful, and free. If this spoke to you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Every week, I drop unfiltered advice to help good men become unforgettable lovers. See you in the next one.